Doc Slab Audio on music production and audio engineering. Welcome to Doc Slab Audio and my music production audio engineering channel. This is a free resource to help you get the information you need to do your productions and engineering on either your home studio productions or your semi-professional or professional productions. That the information sometimes is more glamorous in a bigger situation, but the basic constructs, ideologies, and principles hold true no matter what you're trying to do. And some people are just trying to have fun. Some people really want to be professionals. So those that you ain't really pushing it, you're going to have to put up with a lot of information that's there for those who do want to become professionals. So basically on this channel, it's set up to where that I have 6 master series, and there's tons of other information dealing with audio engineering and dealing with music production and dealing with concepts and principles that are related to it, so that you can dig around all over the place. There's tons of playlists for you to dig around on. But for the most part, when we get into the channel, that the channel is set up so that, like I said, the meat and potatoes of the channel, there's 6 master series and a new series starting called Insights that's just going to be ongoing for the rest of the channel, that I can just drop a video at the drop of the hat about something that's come up or something I've thought about or something that's changed that I want to make you aware of or da-da-da-da-da. But the meat and potatoes of it are the 6 master series. So I'll kind of give you a little bit of a relation to them. Is that, first of all, I would suggest that you start on the 3rd master series. It's about music production and becoming a production engineer. So no matter what area you're working in, you'll have a pretty good understanding of the concept of production engineer and what areas you might need to focus on to get done what you want to do. Plus, you'll have a much better understanding of what's going on in the whole program. Next, I would suggest that you go to the 5th master series. Now, the 5th master series is set up about getting professional sound from your home studio. Now, that can be a home studio, a small semi-professional studio, or a small or mid-sized professional studio that's really relating to the concepts you're dealing with that are really going to be hurdles in you getting good sounding productions. So I do suggest you go there. Next, there's the 6 master series on session templates. That way, whether you're in the creation phase and recording phase or engineering and mixing phase or the mastering phase, that you can really get your mindset to having session templates and things laid out really well so that you can just get going and get done and have things really situationally oriented to what phase of the production you're working on. And then next, I would suggest you go to the 1st series, the 1st master series. This, if you take a production into this and go from the beginning and to the end, and do a production while you go through it, you have to keep in mind that a lot of things I talked about are options for you to apply to your production. Sometimes keeping things simple is a good idea, but there are times we do really super complicated things, and it's always nice to be able to pull things out of a bag at the drop of the hat to do something really cool and complicated. But, a lot of times the meat and potatoes just getting it, really good captures from really good performances, done well, what needs to be done, so they're power productions. But that doesn't mean kill it with our audio engineering and killing it with our producing. So you kind of have to keep that in mind after you go through that. And at the end, there's mastering also. So that's would be the next step in you working through the engineering part of it. Once you've gone through and you have your production done, you have a composition done and all that, you can go through it in that master series and start honing your abilities, working out your workflows, and start laying things out and getting practicing and, getting your thing going, right? Next, I would recommend going to the second master series. This goes through a lot of, things like, concepts like equalization a little bit more in depth, sound sculpting, reverberation, that are some really meat and potato parts of producing. And it goes into it pretty in depth. And we look at metering and some things like that. And it's just like the next level, really focusing on those areas once we've gone through that first master series and really trying to fine tune ourselves and really take it to the next level. So I do suggest that. And then I suggest Master Series 4, that it's about sonic balance and sonic clarity, which I see, it sounds funny, but in the composition, the production, and the engineering, I see so many people get lost there that they're just losing that sonic balance and clarity that makes it such a powerful production, and they just get lost in this muddy, overproduced, over-engineered, over-processed, over-edited, over that thing that they're really just losing it in there. And so that's the fourth master series, and that's the direction that I would give you for watching the channel. And between all that information and all the other information on the channel, because there are tons of other playlists, tons of other topics, microphones, synthesizers, listening environment, cleanliness, equal loudness, contours, flow editing, clarity guides, it just goes on and on and on. There are tons of videos on my channel, and it's all to try to help you, understand the concepts you're dealing with. So, audio engineering and music production can be a lot more complicated than a lot of people think. And, it's a free resource, so that, once you start digging into it, it'll become pretty apparent that some of those people don't get paid the money they get because they're idiots. And it's going to take time, but it's also set up to where if you just want to have fun, or you're somewhere semi-professional, that you can have fun and not get lost in it, because it's, if you keep it simple, for simple projects, you can have a lot of fun. When you're going professional, there's a lot going on, and if you're going to take on the whole show and you're going to be the producer and the engineer, you got your work cut out for you, bro. But there's some help to help you get there, so that you don't get lost in it. And you can always go to the university. There's even a playlist on my channel about whether or not you should go to the university. Okay, so in closing, I have some final advice. It has been my experience that your biggest problems that I've seen talking with producers and engineers is problems with the composition, the production itself, the performance, and the captures. I know that sounds funny, but it has been my experience that those producers and those engineers that make sure that the production is really worked out well and it is a good production, the performances are really good performances, and they make sure that the performers do as good a job as possible and perform optimally and getting as good a captures as possible. With those three things being done, that the engineers can do magic and you can get magical productions. If those things aren't done well, you can't be sitting around killing yourself as an engineer or a producer that you're just not getting it, or you're not good enough, or because you're not going to be able to do justice when those things aren't done well. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but if you really focus on those areas being your biggest problems, you can do magic. Sometimes we keep things really simple and don't over edit and don't over process, to let the project stand on its own. Let the composition, the production stand on its own, and the performances stand on their own. And sometimes we do really wild complexities, with our automation and our effects and our processes and our editing and all kinds of areas, that just are like for a moment, just a whoosh, cool, wild stuff that like catches the listener, just like, oh yeah, that is so cool, dude. But we focus on the meat and potatoes of letting that production stand on its own so that those things are actually taken as something done really cool. And that means that composition, those performances, and those captures can stand on their own and are done as well as possible so that we can do magical, cool things that make it, just unbelievably, ear catching, and do, ear candy things that are just with effects in all kinds of areas. That a lot of things on my channel are there for you to dig around on about that kind of stuff, because, if we focus on the meat and potatoes done well, that when we do magic, it looks like magic, because we got a really cool platform to work from. So we really need to focus on there. And always keep in mind that whenever you see professionals working, whether they're bands or producers or engineers, a lot of those people do not get paid the money they get because they're idiots, okay? Whether they're performers or producers and engineers, that more than likely there's been a lot of time put into them on their own, people helping them to make them what they are. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the effort to become that. And it can be a lot of work. But if you're just having fun, there's a lot of information on my channel to help you have some fun. And the society, of music production, artists and engineers, there's a lot of people that will give you some positive feedback if you don't pound them into the ground, bugging them all the time. So I certainly hope that this channel helps you get done what you're trying to do. And I certainly hope you spread some positivity and some good vibes in the process so that we all live in a better world today and tomorrow. Peace, hope, love. I'll see you in the next video.